Hey, folks. Elaine Marolakos Edelson here. And I want to help you get your mojo back. We're going to be looking at a little bit of what's going on in the planetary stuff. But I just remembered something. Hang on. Oh, how unprofessional of me to leave. I want to get the cards I left over there. Okay, so we got a full moon coming up. Come join me. Say hello. We have a full moon coming up in Leo. Rhonda's here. Okay, we can begin now. Welcome to my cafe. You know what? Let me just move that over. Ta-da. Okay. Welcome to my cafe, Astrology Cafe. We're going to be talking about the full moon in Leo. And I like a full moon in a fire sign, only because I'm a fire sign moon. So we do feel a difference when the moon is in a different constellation. Anyway, I do. You may not. Remember people, the planets don't do anything to you. We live in a cooperation with the cosmos. So the planets are not the same as the sun and the moon, however, because they have an integral relationship to the earth. So there's a magnetic force and field. So without the sun, we'd freeze. And without the moon, we would tumble out of orbit as we drowned in tsunamis. What a pleasant thought for a Thursday morning. And hey, Barbie's here. Okay, Barbie remembered. I'm going to get back to you. Stick around because I want to talk about Barbie today. I do. And in this full moon, if you're on my newsletter, my list, you will get an email. Maybe you already read it. And I mentioned how the full moon can represent the endings, the completion of something. So approximately every 28 days, the moon goes through a constellation. It goes very fast around the earth. And then, it's spiraling through the universe and through different constellations. And every time the moon enters a different sign, sometimes in between, there is a void moon, excuse me, and that is when the moon is between constellations. It's called void of course moon. That's an astronomical event. And astrologically, we look at that as a time of no practical endeavors. It's all about spiritual awareness. It's all about being present and taking time to just reflect or do fun things. There's nothing earthly or tangible in a moon void in astrology. And then, of course, a new moon, it's when you can see more of the stars when you look up. But in a new moon, it's all about new beginnings. And a full moon is about the completion as it goes through the phase. And I'm so sorry. So anyway, when we look at a full moon, when we look at a new moon, it's like, what can I begin during that phase of the new moon? What can I begin that really starts off my week, my day, my month, my idea, my project? What can I do? Now, of course, everything begins on a new moon and ends on a full moon. That would be too regimented, and the cogs in the wheel would look kind of strange. They would all look similar. Like everybody, all right, new moon, go. Full moon, you're done and you're cut off. But the feeling gets fuller and fuller and fuller. It's like being pregnant. If you're a woman and have ever been carried a baby to term, it takes time. And there is a process. And during that process, you engage in different things regarding what you think, feel, how you express in that time frame. Because remember, folks, everything you are is energy. And you're creating a vibration, and that vibration is going to make matter. It's going to draw matter to you. The head sends out the signal, and the heart pulls it back. You're the magnet. And so during a full moon, you might become more aware of just a general full moon. I'm not talking about in Leo. I'm just talking a general full moon. You might become more aware of your feelings, your intuition, your emotions, or the lack of, or your relationship to other women, to children, to the child in you, to feeling nurtured and nourished. The moon is in astrology represents Cancer. And in a general chart in astrology, the moon represents the fourth house: home, family, motherhood, children. The four walls, yes, but who you are in those walls, ultimately your identity. And so other avenues of expression for a full moon: writing, being creative, and really fine tuning that sense of who I am and how I feel about who I am, or how I feel about my feminine nature, regardless of how you identify, regardless of what you were assigned at birth, what gender you were assigned. It's all about that feeling and that intuitive sense. I always like to say that when we have a solar and lunar eclipse, the lunar is all about the moon, and it casts a glow under your, what am I doing? How am I feeling about that? What would I like to do about that? And that can come through a form of expression. And that expression might be touch. You might need physical massage. I had a Reiki session yesterday with Barbie, and that is not my first one. And she is fantastic. If you live in Sedona, Flagstaff, Cottonwood, Rimrock, any of the surrounding towns, I highly recommend, now I have her card here, Repose Reiki. And that's REPOSE Repose Reiki. And that's Barbie. Maravivov. Did I say that? Maravivov. Viav. I'm saying that incorrectly. I apologize. We'll just go with Barbie. And so I had been holding in whatever I was holding in throughout the month. And I thought, okay, I want to schedule this closer to a full moon so I can just let go of stuff. And I have to tell you, Barbie, you're amazing. I've been to many Reiki and energy experts and masters, and I started practicing laying on of hands, 40 years ago. So this is not new for me. And the best part, and I told her this yesterday, is many best parts, but in the beginning, when you get all cozy and you're just like, okay, and you're settled in, and Barbie will put her hands on your head just to tune into you. And I love that, because that's when my body settles into, okay, I am here. I am in the hands of someone who is very loving and caring and knowledgeable about what to do with energy. And then I start to drift. And then seconds, moments, I don't know how long later, it just occurs to me, oh, she's massaging my feet, or she's over there, but her hands are on my head. So that's what I mean by when you can move energy, whether you are, and if you're not in town and you don't see Barbie, and if you can find someone local to you to have some energy work done, always around the full moon or a lunar eclipse is ideal. Really, because I felt like I was in a car wash, it just started going through. And as I came out, like from the top down, it was like less stress, brighter, cleaner. I could breathe easier. The headache diminished. It was really great. So, oh, you're welcome, Barbie. Seriously. And also, this is also what I want to share about full moons. And that is, be kind to yourself and be kind to a woman in your life. Full moon energy is about the nurturing of the feminine principle. Yes, Venus represents that as well, but especially a full moon. And in Leo is just like, how can I help? What can I do? Hey, you want to go have some fun? You want a nap? That's okay. I'll put on some soft music. I'll sing to you. So Leo has this very bright, energetic feeling. And you may find that you are sleeping better, or you wake up earlier, but you're energized in this full moon. It happens on the 6th, by the way. The full moon, I don't have my calendar in front of me, but the full moon is on the 6th in Leo. But we start to feel the effects a day or two before to a day or two after, depending on who you are. And if the moon actually conjuncts your sun, rising, or moon, or your rising sign, or any of your planets. But the feeling of camaraderie, it's like a gal pal. Dare I say it? Breast friends. Did I say that? Am I allowed to say that? It's the gal pal energy. And I am so very fortunate to have a group this weekend. I do salons, and that is up to 6 people, usually women, and I prefer that. And there's going to be all of us in a room on Saturday. And this is just about really coming up to speed with, we see ourselves as individuals, but then the full moon kind of breaks that illusion. And so suddenly what you have is, oh yeah, I may not know you, but I relate. I may not know you, or maybe I do know you and I feel you. And I had a text from a neighbor this morning. We were going to take a walk, but it's going to be next week instead because of the way my week looks. And I just want to sit still and get stuff done. And I'm so looking forward to this walk with my neighbor. And she said, that's absolutely fine. And if you need anything, I'm here. You know, that's all I needed to hear. Really. I didn't need anyone to do anything for me, but maybe you do. And it's okay to ask for that in a Leo moon. Oh, definitely. Excuse me. I'm kind of weirded out. I'm sad. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. Can you help me? That is so important to do. So keep this in mind when we're moving closer toward the energy of a full moon. Also keep in mind that we're not standing still, folks, right? The earth is spinning at over 800 miles an hour. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. And when you're doing that, and then our little satellite is orbiting us and in the constellation of Leo, and suddenly we feel like, I just want to get up in the middle of the night and finish that novel. I'm going to write it. I'm going to read it. I'm going to watch a show. But be careful. Blue light after 11 p.m. Can suppress chemicals in your brain and actually produce a chemical that creates depression. So if you're going to watch your tablet at midnight because you're up and you're excited about something, just use blue tech glasses and blue screen on your the setting on your tablet or your television if you've got it, but definitely with your glasses. Okay, so yes, Repose Reiki. One more time, REPOSE REIKI. Repose Reiki. Barbie's here in Sedona, and she's fantastic. She's a mom energy, and she's sweet and kind, and she knows her stuff. She knows what to do with energy. So yeah, go. Get a little nurturing for yourself. Okay, so I want to pull one of Yasmin Boland's cards that I have said before she was so kind to gift to me. And these are her Moonology cards. Ba-ba! Moonology with Yasmin Boland. Oh, there it is. Thanks, Barbie. ReposeReiki.com and or her email, Barbie at. Okay. All right. So as we are looking at this Leo full moon, there's going to be a lot coming up for a lot of people with regard to being courageous, being creative, and being, let's call it healing a wound of the not enoughs. You know, I'm not enough. They thought I was enough. I'm not enough. It's not enough. They're not enough. That'll never be enough. Nothing's enough. Enough already. So we're not going to go there. Well, where I would like to take you is into a moment of being as present as possible and realize this, that when you write down a goal, and it's the chemicals that you connect between your brain and the writing process. When you write down a goal, you have, I think it's a 70 to 80% greater outcome of seeing that goal come to fruition. So during this time of completion in a full moon in Leo, let's look at one thing, just pick one thing, like my husband's business, one big idea. Pick one thing that you are ready to complete. Now, it may not, like, I want to drop weight, done Monday. Good. Let's move on. New moon's coming up. How about I feel better when I eat these things versus those things. And I'm going to move toward, you scribble down, I'm moving toward wellness in every moment possible. I'm moving toward having a greater appreciation for my body and my cellular function. My cells already know what to do. Let me support my cells in my body, the nurturing aspect, full moon, and give it more of what it needs. This morning I woke up and I had organic bone broth first. And I actually felt better. I felt better. I put a little collagen protein in, and which helps to support the thyroid and the liver function. And I thought, and aside from skin stuff, and I thought, okay, that was very nurturing. That alone was very nurturing. So let me do something else. And then that led to the next thing. So the more you make a commitment to be as present as possible during this full moon and to field any negative emotions coming from you or coming at you. Now, if they're coming at you, realize they're still coming from you. Either I don't want to deal with it, or I did something, I'm not aware of it, and now here are the repercussions. But it doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. I mean, if you've done something wrong, own it. What could that be? You on purpose took money from someone. Now, if you are a thief, or you're what I would call in a Leo vibe, a Mimi, it's always got to be about you. You're probably not watching this because you wouldn't vibe with this information. You'd get offended, feel wounded, and go. Right? So you're going to start to attract more of what you're vibing, is what I'm saying, between now and Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. Okay. And that's exciting because it's like a barometer of where you are with things. So people might come up to you out of the blue and say, oh my gosh, whatever, that sweater looks beautiful on you. Thank you. Take it and go. Take it. Okay. So the card I just pulled is called Adjustments Are Required for the Third Quarter Moon. We're not in a third quarter moon. We're headed toward a full moon, but adjustments are required. So that's what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about. If your issue, well, give me an issue. What does somebody have? If you're watching in a replay, I might not be able to respond to you because I don't travel through time on Facebook. If you have an issue with money, let's say, because the moon also deals with your abundance factor, it has a lot to do with how you make your money and the flow of energy, So if you've got to make an adjustment to something, and let's say you're budgeting for a trip or to pay an extra bill, or suddenly you weren't expecting to buy a hot water heater. Let's look at stuff in the home. Cancer is a water sign. Leo is a fire sign. So maybe I, believe it or not, am looking for an infrared electric heater that looks like a little fireplace because my office is chilly. We have a little mini fireplace out there. So I'll bring my computer out there and work, but this is my office. So when I give readings or I've got to do stuff in this computer, in this office, I'm chilly. I have my husband's little spare heater. It's like very loud and there's a little bit of heat, but so I'm looking for somebody to keep me warm. That's what I'm looking for. I think I found one. So whatever your issue is, it can be that simple, or it can be something a little bit more emotional, like dealing with family or women in your family. I have a client who is doing just that. And I mean, it's extreme and it's intense. And so there are ways to detach from, especially if you're a very empathic person or empathetic person, you want to detach from those types of people that are the downside of Leo. That would be a narcissist. That would be someone who's grumpy and very egotistical. Right. So if you've got that in your orbit, someone in your periphery is coming to you, you have a business meeting with a boss and it's like, oh, I better just keep my mouth shut because that person is just like a tripwire for and me and my and hey and hi and I did, and so he's like, I can't top that. You win. You ever meet one of those people? Well, if you can be as centered as possible on how you feel and not like, not react, but respond instead to, oh, yeah, okay, that's who they are. Not my circus mom, not my monkeys. That's a Polish phrase. And just stay kind of in your ebb and flow. All right. Does that make sense? Thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, please. If you're watching this on Facebook or if you're watching this on YouTube, and you comment, it really does help other people because it gets moved in the logarithm. It's like, oh, somebody wants to see that. It gets noticed. So once you stay more centered in how you feel and your intuition is increased during any eclipse, during any full moon phase, you want this sense of accomplishment. Like, I just finished something, and that thing that you might have finished, it could be, I didn't react to their old shenanigans. That was cool. That was great. Wow. I feel good about that. Little praise goes a long way in a Leo full moon. So praise others, praise yourself. Okay. And here's the next card that flipped out. Expect powerful change when you do that. It's not a new moon eclipse, but it is a full moon. And it's kind of on the same scope as that. And I'm being drawn to, wait a minute, there's another card. Let's see. Let me say hello. Who's here? Hi. Exactly. That detachment is high on my list of getting done. I am so tired of the barbs hitting my heart. I have other goals. Exactly. Hoorah. Oh, yes. Let's try these today. I like these cards too. So that goes with, and if someone has an issue, like a one-word issue, they just want to pop it in the chat and just tell me, what are they feeling? What are you feeling extra sensitive about? Sometimes we expect unconsciously a specific type of validation and we don't get it. And then we doubt who we are and what we've done as if it's not good enough because the outside world didn't validate you. So this also can come up in a full moon. Okay, so Kamal says money and relationship issues. So apply everything that I'm talking about. No one gets a personal card on a live show because then I'm giving readings to everyone and it's not fair to the people who are watching and not actually talking to me. But as a general read, we are looking at adjustments are required to how you feel and intuit things in this full moon energy in Leo. And also expect powerful change, because if you are altering how you react and move it toward response, and anything that has been negative in your field, and you go from negative to neutral to positive, that's powerful change. And again, it doesn't have to be this big explosive, it can be, I just said no and I didn't feel guilty about it. How's that? How's that for a powerful change? Or I said yes, and because I've been so insecure about something, but I said yes because I was invited to do something. Excuse me. So how does that sound? Right? That's powerful too. Sometimes people expect like this, like the clouds to part and the result here, ta-da, on a platter. Well, it can be like that. But most times we have full moons every 28-ish days because we're still working stuff out. And it's not just one thing. Have you ever just focused on one thing ever, ever, ever? Yeah, when you were a baby, you were just like floating around going, yeah, I'm here. And then the needs started. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I'm scared. Right? Okay. Ooh, I like this. 15, a powerful move. So we got 2 power cards. Yes, Kobabs, calling in the positive. Kamal, money and relationship issues. Well, if you feel like you are powerless when it comes to money or relationship, then you need to look in the mirror and start talking to yourself in a kind way. And that is, I deserve because I am. We're all extensions of the light, and your matter is divine. So, what's the matter? You're the matter. So, if an issue is recurring, it could be anything. For Kamal, it might be money and relationships, other people, attachment, detachment. Where do you, now that we got two powerful words, where do you feel powerless? And if it's with money, then you can say, I am abundant. I am a magnet for abundance. I am a magnet for abundance. Everything I need and want comes to me easily, effortlessly. It doesn't mean you sit in a closet and don't do anything. It means you adjust your vibration so that you now are on a different path and you act differently because you believe everything you just said. Make sense? So a powerful move, and it looks like, well, this is like a circular chess set. This is a Colette Baron Reid deck, right? So a powerful move is you have wings. You have wings, and there's a key in the center of this sphere. And so the key, of course, is in your heart, because that's the magnet for everything in your life. Everything you believe in your brain sends out a frequency, and that frequency brings back matter. So if you keep attracting the same kind of lover, friend, boss, employer, employee, it's coming because you're the magnet. Does that make sense? So to be powerful in your world means to stand back and say for a minute, okay, let me be objective about this. I keep attracting the same thing. What part of me thinks this is all I can get? What part of me thinks that I'm not worth any more? What part of me thinks that they need help and I'm here to help them. I might as well. So then we start to gather the children and the needy, right? Because I might as well take care of it because I too am a mom. So I get it, right? Does that make sense? Does that help? Lucy asks, would you recommend a salt bath for this energy? What ingredients would you recommend? Okay, a salt bath is great. If you're on an aerobic system like I am, you can't really do a salt bath too often. But if you do a salt bath, make sure that what's going in is replenishing what's coming out. Now, a sitz bath, if you're not familiar with a sitz bath, you can use certain herbs. And it only reaches, just under your hip. It's not a lot of water. And you can put some magnesium salts, Epsom salts that are organic or more natural. And you can throw in some herbs that you like. Rosemary is also really excellent. It kind of pulls out toxins. But I would do an Epsom salt bath, a clean Epsom salt bath, sitz bath, where it's not all the way up to your high waist. If you've got a tub like that, you must have a spa. But also, while you're doing that, is to sip hot peppermint tea with ginger, because it also helps you to perspire and you can sweat out toxins in your body. So not everything has to go through the liver. Doing an infrared sauna, if you have access to one of those, is fantastic. Infrared sauna heats you up from the cellular level inside out instead of from the outside in, which is the typical sauna. And, 20 to 30 minutes between 125 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And you have just empowered your cells. You've just detoxified. But if you have adrenal issues, you want to research that and talk to, your healthcare professional. I talk about energy and little things you can do with certain herbs and stuff, but always do your own research. Okay. You're an adult and you're a conscious adult. So know what works best for you, because one remedy is not going to work the same on every person. Does that make sense? Good. I hope that helps, Lucy. And, Kamal. Rhonda says, universe working with me on being okay when nothing feels like it's happening. LOL, big message. Slow your roll. Are we there yet? Yeah. Where do you want to go? Do you have Rhonda? Do you have a lot of Sagittarius or Aquarius in you? Like, what's the deal? Why do you, or Aries, do you need to be getting somewhere faster? What is it that you want to have change? Because if you're impatient for things to keep going, then look where the gears are coming from, and that's on the inside. Look in the mirror and go, what if I got there sooner? I know I had a client once who kept complaining. Oh, North Node Aquarius. What's your rising? What's your rising? Do you know? And if you have this one client of mine was like, oh, and my partner does this and they don't do that and they don't do that and they don't do that. And I said, okay, if they did, who would you be? That was powerful. I said, if they did those things that you wanted, you would have to change too, because you're obviously attracting someone who's not doing those things because you feel comfortable being in charge. Think about it. Okay. Capricorn rising, moon and rising. Oh, honey, you need a hug. I know I'm a Capricorn rising. All right. I'm going to pull another Oracle 7. Oh, this is the deck I'm pulling from right now. Colette Baron Reed, Oracle of the 7 Energies. Only 7? Sometimes I feel 1,007 of them. Oh, again, liminal. This is where we are, folks. And that is, okay. So adjustments are required, right? To make a change. That means you have to pay attention and note your behavior, your reaction, your response. If someone comes to you and I've used this example before, and let's say you really wanted, Chinese food for dinner, and you're so excited, you're going out on a date, or maybe it's a good friend or, family member comes into town. You're like, I'm so excited. And you talked about it. You're like, I love Chinese. And they know how much you love Chinese food. And at the last minute they go, yeah, I don't want Chinese. Can we go Italian? And you're like, okay. How do you feel about it? What are your choices? If you're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm fine with that. And really are fine with that? Great. If you're not fine with that, you can say so in a kind way. It's like, oh, I've really been looking forward to Chinese. Would it be all right if we just did Chinese tonight and then tomorrow for lunch, we could go Italian or do the other thing? So there's ways to negotiate and put a positive spin on it instead of, I never get what I want. My needs are never met. They always get what they want. I'm always the one compromising. We don't want to go there. You remember the downside I said earlier, if you're just joining us, the downside or the negative side or the more mundane side of Leo energy is me. I didn't get what I wanted. It's never enough. They never gave me what I wanted. I didn't get it. It's not what. And so now we move to a neutral place and we say, okay, if I am the magnet for everything in my world, how about I give it to myself? How about we're going out for Italian for dinner? I'm going to go get Chinese for lunch because I'm going to take care of me. I'm taking care of me in a way that does not involve being a victim because of them. Does that make sense? Thumbs up. Hello. Now, then I pulled the land between. And the land between is liminal. Liminal is you have one foot in one world and the other foot in the other world, and you're crossing the divide. You're bridging the gap. So what happens when you bridge a gap? And this is a 4 in numerology, which breaks down to a 22. So that means you have to think, people say, oh, think outside the box. There are no boxes. Hello, no boxes. We see what we see in front of us, and we think we're validated by that. It's like, oh, my cup's almost empty. Well, that happens to be a reality. But does that mean it'll never be full again? No. Does that mean I can't go and fill that myself? No. So this is what you want to think about. Does that make sense? Does that help? Okay. Barbie, me too. Me too what? I'm going to pull one more card. All right. I like Colette's take on this. Great and full. Where do you feel great and what fulfills you? Because that's this full moon energy is about feeling appreciation. And when you put the vibe, Capricorn, moon, and rising, says Barbie. When you put the vibe on appreciation, you create an energy field that says, I get what I need. I love the way the sky looks today. I'm so grateful for how comfortable my clothes are. I have shoes on my feet. I have 2 bathrooms. I have a choice. Even if you just had 1 bathroom, you have a choice. Some people don't have that in their dwelling, right? So it's not about you have more than others. It's about being grateful for who you are and what you have, what you've created, what you have allowed, big flashing sign, what you have allowed for yourself in your life. Now, very quickly, I just want to show what we're looking at. Today is not March 23rd. What the heck? I was playing with things earlier. All right, hang on now. I have to find the speed. And here we are today. Ta-da! Isn't that amazing how I can move through time just by looking at a chart? So we have the sun is in Aquarius. Saturn is in Aquarius, which means that if you looked up in the sky and you saw Saturn, it would be in the constellation Aquarius. Venus is in Pisces. How romantic and sweet. And Neptune is in Pisces. That's a natural placement. Dreams coming true, facing your addictions. And then Jupiter is in Aries, and that represents, folks, remember the planets aren't doing anything to you. That represents ready to go forward with enthusiasm. But sometimes with the blinders on, you want to just like look to the left and the right. And open up your awareness to what's possible. Then we have Uranus and Taurus, steady and true, helping you break up the old places where fear exists, that you're not going to get what you need. So you just have to like, okay, I'm not going to go on that ride because that's going to make me nuts. I'm just going to stay here where it's safe and quiet, and that's fine. That's great. But if it stops you from experiencing anything else in life, then maybe you could do something different. Maybe you can trust something else. You want to keep your eyes and ears open with Mars in Gemini. And that is, it just came out of retrograde, which means we've all been pondering something, just kind of being more thoughtful about things, about what we feel, about what we think, about how we're moving, our momentum. And then, of course, by Monday, the moon, let's get to the actual full moon in Aquarius. I mean, in Leo. 17, okay, let's go a little faster. I am moving through time, folks. I am looking at the future. 29 degrees and da-da-da-da. Let's go back. Okay. No. We actually got to go forward because we have to go to the 6th. 5 and February 6th. All right. So there it is. Full moon, 24ish to 29, 30 degrees. Then we're into the next sign, but of Leo. So by the 6th of February, we have Pluto grouping together with Mercury, both in Capricorn, thinking very ambitiously about the future. And not because that's happening are you thinking these things, but because you're thinking these things, we see it reflected in the planets. Okay. Be empowered. And so when we think about that, it's, I want to have a plan that works. I want to have a working plan where I can get what I want. And if I have to make it last, if I have to take my time, if I have to gather more facts and information, then I'm going to do that. And that's what that represents. And so with that, plus the full moon, and the full moon is going to be opposite and opposing Saturn and the sun. And that is, I'm tired of feeling restricted. I want to feel freer. My freedom at the cost of what? Why do you think you have to give up something to be free? Well, if you wanted to lose some weight and you were eating donuts every day, you might have to give those up. But in your process of becoming healthier, maybe you can find keto donuts made with almond flour. If you can't do almond flour, you try coconut flour. You try, other types of possibilities exist. So when you stop having your temper tantrum over what you can't have right now, but yet you're sliding into a hole financially, health-wise, with relationships. People will say to me, when am I going to meet the love of my life? And I say, well, when are you ready to meet the love of your life? What does that look like? Write it down on a piece of paper. Remember, people who write things down have greater outcomes. And keep it in present tense. I choose to fill in the blank. Be calmer. Be more trusting. I choose to feel freer. And I allow those things to come to me. That's it. Keep it general. I mean, yeah, you might say it's about my money or relationships or my health or, I can't seem to get that job that I want. So let's not focus on what we don't have. Let's focus on what we do have through appreciation, and then it will expand those areas and opportunity will come to you. Does that make sense? That's how energy works. So there it is. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right. Cyan, your dream job will come when you allow it. Your dream job will come when you write it down, what it is you're choosing to have, and work toward it a little at a time and make a space for it in your heart. And then opportunities come to you. We are all magnets. We are all creating our reality. So if your dream job is across the street and you don't know how to get there, why not create a bridge? Remember, what was the card I pulled? The liminal. Where is it now? I put it back in the deck. I shouldn't play with the cards like that. You need to cross that liminal place energetically. Your dream job comes when you say, I deserve my dream job and I'm happy. I'm happy to let it come. And people say, well, how is that being proactive? Well, it really is, because you're energy first. You're energy first. What are you? You're energy first. So if you don't change your energy, which also means how you think and how you feel, then nothing changes. All right. Does that make sense? Here was the card, the land between. So what you want is on the other side. How do you get there? Maybe you bring it to you. Maybe you bring these two halves together. Maybe you bring these two halves together, your heart, it's backwards, your heart and your mind. And you say, everything I want and need comes to me easily, effortlessly. I am an extension of the light. I am pure conscious love. I am creating my own reality. I am pure conscious love. Say it with me right now, folks. Hands on the heart. I am pure conscious love. I am creating my own reality. And then find something, anything that gives you joy. Anything. A comedy show, watching a plant grow, vacuuming, being kind to a friend, full moon in Leo, being creative, doodling, doing a crossword puzzle. That kind of energy is neutral, but it moves toward positive. So we get you out of the negative by stop looking at what you don't have. Look at how you're opening to what is coming. All right. And that's how we bridge the gap. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay. Now, one final card. And where do I will go back to the moon deck. And remember, folks, if you're in the area, if you're in anywhere in Sedona, Flagstaff, Cottonwood, Rimrock, Camp Verde, Barbie posted where it's somewhere in the thread. Barbie posted. Barbie's a Reiki master, and I had a session with her yesterday. And plus, I've had others, and they're fantastic. She's great at what she does. She's kind. She's compassionate. And this is this full moon energy in Leo is be kind to another, promote someone energetically, praise someone. And Barbie is that. So Barbie, again, where is your stuff? Repose. And I just pushed your card aside. Oh, here it is. It's reposereiki.com. Repose, REPOSE, REIKI, Reiki.com. And Barbie, do you also do remote energy work, or is it just only in your space? And answer that while I get the cards together. Okay. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of comments here. I didn't even see. Sorry, folks. Okay, makes a lot of sense. Oh, Barbie also does remote energy work as well. So it's reposereiki.com. All right, so let's pull one more card here from the Moonology book, and this is Yasmin Boland. Moonology. So the full moon is on the 6th, February 6th. And the energy starts now and it goes till a day or two after the full moon. But I just want you to remember that if you just joined us, we're talking about completion. So something needs to complete before you can begin again. And a completion might be, I've had that thing I wanted to sew the hem. It's been sitting there for 2 months. I'm just going to finish my project. I'm going to get it back in the closet. Now I make room for something else. I wanted to clean out that one drawer. I started doing it, but I never got back to it. I'm going to go do that. So it can be small. It doesn't have to be this huge thing. Just complete something. Complete that feeling of I'm not worth it. And switch the flip to I am worthy. I am an extension of the light. I am pure conscious love. My matter is divine. So what's the matter? You're the matter. All right. And I'm excited. Hey, for all the Capricorn energies here, the end of a tough cycle approaches. Hallelujah. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Okay, folks? Because you've been working so hard. You don't need to work so hard anymore. You just need to clean up your vibration. All right, especially in this full moon, just to recap, if someone, energy, you see something, you have a reaction instead of a heart-opening response, you need to clean up your vibe. You need to look in the mirror and you need to say, I have to stop judging this person, or I need to stop feeling so wounded. I need to do this other thing. So then find the opposite. If I feel wounded, what's the opposite? Empowered. So go do something that empowers you. If you turn on the news, please don't. Just don't go there. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it anymore. My husband and I are going to go see the comic impersonator Frank Caliendo on Saturday. We're so excited. So, and that we did on purpose because I've got a salon, which is my group of gals that are flying in from different parts of the country. And I'm going to see them on Saturday. And then I will be toast. And I said to my husband, let's go. He said, Frank's show is Friday night or Saturday. What do you want? I was like, Saturday. I just want to sit and laugh and watch somebody do impressions of other celebrities and have a good dinner and then put me back in the car and drive me home. And then I go to bed. So I'm going to give back to myself. What are you going to give to yourself? I want you to understand too, this card kept coming up. You and your loved ones are safe. Okay. So Cancer it guides the moon, even though it's a full moon in Leo. Cancer guides the moon. And sometimes that protective nature to be caustic, to snap at someone when they say or do something. Well, that's not true. Whoa. How do you feel? Just relax. You're safe. I'm safe. I'm safe as I move toward wellness in every moment. I'm safe as I attract opportunity and freedom to me. I am safe. Does that make sense? I hope so, folks. Okay, remember, share, like, subscribe, and I will be back next Thursday, 9:30 Mountain Time and 11:30 Eastern, 4:30 Greenwich Mean Time. And you can always like, share, subscribe, comment on Facebook or YouTube. Looking to grow, and I'm asking for your help. Thank you. As always, I wish you peace. Be well, and I'll see you next week.